Okay. All right, here's our official beginning of our lecture this morning. Hello, people at home. Hello, people in class. Um, Looks like everybody's doing some good social distancing. It's been a weird summer, right? It's been a weird summer of interacting with other human beings. But thanks for playing along, guys. We'll figure it out together. So Math 120, you guys all are here for Math 120. First, just hello, by the way. I miss seeing human beings. I don't know about you guys, but I've spent a lot of time alone for the past several months. That was a big part for me about wanting to come back in person. Um, Dentists professors, we've all had a choice whether or not we're going to come back in person. And it was kind of a hard choice for me because I take COVID very seriously. I worry about not just my own health, but my family's health and the community and all of you guys. But I really think this whole talking to each other, having human relationships thing is kind of the best part of having an education. And it's going to be harder because, for one thing, I have to sit here and stay away from you pretty much all the time. I usually like to kind of walk around the classroom, take a look at your work, take a look at your laptops, see what's going on. It's going to be a little tougher this time, but I think we can make the most of it, and I'm hoping to. And that's why I decided to come back in person, just so I could see you guys. So for the remote students, I'm looking into my camera right now. Don't worry, you're going to be part of this too. And also for you guys here in person, all of the resources for this class are going to be available online. All the videos are going to be online. The notes that I type out that we work out during class, those are all going to be posted online too. So, definitely take notes and take some sort of record of what's going on so you can, it's a really important part of your learning. But don't freak out. Everything that we do, literally everything that we do will be on on my website. Speaking of, I want to just take a quick look. Oops. My website is millera2.github.io. You want to write this down. I'll send you links and stuff to this a bunch too. Here's my website. It's very simple and clean. I try to keep every important resource for this class up here on my website. I've got two classes. I'm doing Math 120, obviously that's this. I'm doing CS 111 as well. So you guys will click on Math 120. How about just for your benefit, I will write this on the board. It's millera2.github.io. And I keep all of our stuff there. If you go there now, it's fairly bare bones. There's not too much there, but you'll get all the important links for the stuff that we're going to do. First thing there is going to be a link to all the video lectures that I put on YouTube. I'm just doing like a playlist on YouTube that'll have all the videos that we do for this class. I'll upload this video as soon as we're done today after lecture. Also, in addition to the videos, I'm going to put the lecture notes up specifically. We're not really going to do any lecture today, but I guess starting next time when we actually start working together in software doing some statistics, all of the notes that I generate in class are going to be online, so you'll have access to those. We do weekly quizzes in this class. I'll always keep information about the next quiz here. There's no information just yet. Don't sweat, we're not going to have a quiz this Wednesday. And reading assignments. These aren't graded, but they'll be an important way for you to stay in touch and know what's going on in class and prepare before you come. I decided not to give you a paper syllabus this time, just again for safety. It feels weird to have a handout that we're all touching together. So the syllabus is currently online. If you go to my website, click right there, poof, here's the syllabus for this class. We're going to go over basically all of the contents of this syllabus today, so you'll know what's on there. But just a little heads up, I'm not going to give you the paper syllabus this time. For safety, take a look on the website, and you'll see the syllabus right there.
So, I know you have a Google page as well. Is it going to be the same as this website?
So we'll talk more about Noble 2 in a second when we talk about homework and quizzes. The important use of Noble is we're going to do all of our quizzes on Noble, and you'll submit all of your homework on Noble.
Okay, thank you.
So that's a great question. In terms of like links and things like that, probably a lot of it will end up on Noble too. But the number one use that we're going to have for Noble in this class are quizzes and homework. Cool. So we'll come back to this. My syllabus is very short. I like to write very simple, short syllabi. Definitely do read it. Read the syllabus. I'm not literally going to read it out loud right now, but we'll end up going over all of the important stuff in here in the next hour or so. Okay. So before we get too far into any of that stuff, how about let's take a moment and be human beings together. Again, I'm smiling. I don't know if you can see. I need to work on my smiles. Am I smiling with my eyes? I really think that communication is super important. That's the reason you came here, right? You wanted to see other people and talk to people. It's a really important part of your learning experience, and I want to facilitate that to the extent that I'm able to. So let's take a moment. I want you guys to just check in with a neighbor. First, just as a reminder, you guys are all doing great right now, but please try to watch out for social distancing. It's going to be hard for me too. It's tempting to get close to people and want to lean in and be social. But I think you guys, hopefully, this is going to be kind of an experiment. I'm not sure. It's going to probably get kind of loud because you're going to have to talk from the distance that you're at. But let's try this. Before we go, I also want to try the remote fist bump. Are you ready? We're going to remote fist bump. I put my fist up, you put your fist up, bam, remote fist bump. It's like a handshake, but for the COVID era, okay? Can you guys all practice a remote fist bump with your partner? Let's see those fist bumps. Okay, some of you guys still need to work on, and there's some good ones out there. We'll practice. Okay, so let's just take a second. I want you guys to talk to each other for a second, get a feel for who else is in this class. First, a bit about you and your neighbors. Let's be human beings together. Here's how it works. First, you're going to turn to your neighbor. You're going to make eye contact and smile. It's kind of weird with the mask, but hey, there it is. And say, hi, my name's, and then you're going to say your name. Then you're going to long distance fist bump. Discuss some basic young human stuff like what's your major? What brings you to Math 120? How is this whole COVID thing working out for you and your family? It's been a weird summer. Maybe just check in with your classmates and see how did this affect you this summer? And maybe the most important thing, what's a way that you guys can get in contact with each other? Staying in touch is going to be one of the most important things that we do in this class. So get there, whether it's email or Instagram or however you Gen Z kids keep up with each other nowadays, get some way of being in contact with each other. Smiling and laughing are optional, but I encourage them. All right, let's practice this. Go for it. Try it out. So, okay, awesome. It seems like that worked, right? You guys could hear each other and have basic human conversations and interact with each other? Yeah? Okay, cool. That was a big concern of mine, preparing for the class. I'm like, well, are they going to be able to talk to each other? Is it going to be way too loud? But okay, cool. That was pretty encouraging. Hopefully at least got to catch up with someone else and maybe get a feel for other folks' experience this summer. It's just been kind of a weird time for everybody. Okay, our section's a little bit too big to go around and talk to everybody, but I just wanted you to get to know somebody. Make sure did you all get their contact info? Did you get somebody's contact info? Do you have, right now, do you have their contact info? Do you have email or cell phone or anything like that? Do you get contact info? Make sure you've got somebody to stay in touch with. It's super important. Inevitably, you're going to want to reach out to somebody and get help and talk to someone in the class. And it's going to be so much better of an experience for you if you've got someone there for you. I suppose to be fair, my turn. Hello, I am Professor Miller. Let's see, maybe a few things about me. I've been a Dennisonian since 2014, which I guess is starting to seem like a long time ago. I'm from California. I went to grad school at University of California, Irvine, at UC Irvine, which was kind of a long time ago. It's weird to think about it. I've been a math and CS dork since I was little. I've always liked math and computer stuff. I taught myself computer programming on my graphing calculator when I was in high school. I was one of those people. In 1988, when I was 5, if you want to do some quick math, you can find out how old I am. I got the original 8-bit Nintendo, NES, and I've been an avid video game player ever since. My PlayStation 4 still gets lots of frequent use. I'm totally going to get a PlayStation 5 as soon as it comes out. So if you want to talk about video games with me, you can. Also, Spotify is by far the most used app on my phone. I love hearing what you guys are listening to. So, if you just want to chat about that too, you can hit me up on Zoom or Google Meet or something like that. I also do kind of a weird thing about me. I do this weird thing called canyoneering, which I found basically no one has ever heard of, except maybe occasionally. It's a little bit like rock climbing, but it's all very specifically in the slot canyons of the American Southwest, most particularly in southern Utah. Anybody seen that movie, 127 Hours? Guy has to break his arm off? That's canyoneering. Don't worry. I would never go alone. I haven't had to break off any limbs yet, but at least I've got a slideshow so I can show you some cool pictures. It's a pretty cool slot canyon. That's me. Somebody's stemming up above me to take this photo. So a lot of times these things get super narrow. This is really deep. This particular canyon is about maybe 200 feet deep. And in places, it's so narrow that you literally can't turn your head back to see the other direction. So it gets it can get a little intense sometimes, but I think it's super fun. Here's what I think is a pretty excellently executed down climb. That's me. I wear a mask in the desert. It's very sunny. I'm also wearing a full 5mm wetsuit here because there's lots of cold water in the canyons. It's a really cool technique involving just using the friction. It looks super dangerous, but actually I'm totally in control of this down climb. I'm starting at the top. You can see somebody's foot up here behind me. They're about to do this same thing that I just did to get down. There's a lot of high stemming in the sport, which I think is super fun. So here's an example. I'm in the foreground. You can see my pants are all ripped up and stuff. I'm wearing knee and elbow pads. I think this is a really cool technique where the bottom of the canyon is too narrow for us to actually even walk on, but we can still traverse it by wedging our body in and moving like that. It's kind of a slow way to go, but it's a lot of fun. We do a lot of rappels and rope work too. So there's a random photo of me on rappel. If you do any rock climbing stuff or rock climbing stuff or ropes or climbing things in general or going outside, that's something I spend a lot of time doing. So you can talk to me about that too. I spend my summers going out to Utah to do this stuff. It was kind of weird this time around with COVID because I didn't really feel comfortable crashing at my friends' houses. So I was basically homeless for most of the summer, living out of my car, sleeping in wherever I could. But it was still worth it for me to get out there and check out the canyons. Oh, one more photo. One thing I really like about canyoneering, it involves lots of teamwork. This is a partner stack. I am the one in the middle. So the goal is we're all trying to get down safely. My friend Bucky, he's the one at the top that we're helping down. Murray is at the bottom holding my feet. So the idea is I let Bucky slide down a little bit, Murray lets me slide down a little bit, and we all get down safely. And it worked. So it seems one thing I really like about the sport that reminds me of mathematics a lot is that teamwork is super, super important. And that's the moral for the story here. Teamwork, I think, is a really important part of the work that you're going to do in this class. Hopefully you won't fall to your death here in Math 120, but teamwork, I think, is still a really integral aspect. And this is one visceral way that I experience it during the summers. Okay, all right, enough about me. Let's talk about class. Math 120, the big picture. What's going on here? I think this is a really special math class. Statistics in particular is really unlike a lot of other math classes that you might take at the university level. We're going to use all the tools you have in a liberal arts education to interrogate data sets and construct rational, empirically supported conclusions and narratives about that data. So what do I mean by that? In a humanities course, an English course, or a studies course, et cetera, you might critically analyze a text or some other document. You might read a book or an article and think critically about what information is contained in that. Here in Math 120, our goal is kind of similar, except instead of text, we're going to be looking at data sets. What does this data tell us about the individuals or objects that got measured? What sort of story can we construct from this data? What conclusions can we make from it? What empirically supported, mathematically supported conclusions can we make based on data? And especially as our world becomes increasingly more data-driven, these sorts of investigations get more and more relevant to our personal lives. I think it's a pretty interesting thing to do, and I think it's got a really unique flavor to it. So I hope you enjoy too as we go along. We're going to use both math and software. Of course, it's a math class to guide our explorations and support our conclusions. But the important part is the actual analysis and problem solving, not just the math itself. Our goal here is to say something smart about the data that we've got. And I think it's a really interesting challenge, and one that takes you to a lot of fun conclusions that you wouldn't be able to find otherwise. So we're going to use some software. We're going to use Google Sheets. We'll talk more about that in the near future. It's okay if you've never used Excel or any other spreadsheet program. This class is totally for you. I don't assume any familiarity with the software. So we'll start from zero. Don't worry. A little bit of business about how the class is going to work here, specifically the nitty-gritty of your grade. I suppose let me just take a quick detour over to the syllabus. Probably the easiest summary of what I'm about to talk about is this grading section right here. You can take a look at that online. Let's talk about how the actual, of course, the grade part is the important part. So let's talk about how that's going to work. Monday and Friday, my game plan is for them generally to be lecture days, kind of the meat and potato days. Here's where we really talk about the important stuff that we're going to do in class. Of course, I want you guys to be engaged, to ask questions, to interact with me, to interact with each other during those times. But we'll think of those as kind of like, that's when we'll talk about the important math stuff that we need to know. We're not going to meet in person on Tuesdays. I'm going to reserve that time specifically for our remote students. That doesn't mean you guys can't come. You can definitely come visit my office hours on Tuesday. But we're not going to meet in person. I want that to be specifically time for my remote students, at least to give them a time where they for sure can have some attention from me. Of course, you guys are welcome to visit my office hours then. I'm also going to post additional office hours. I don't have, I'm not going to specifically lecture. It's not going to be like an additional class period at that time. I will just be available online, guaranteed those times. So for sure, you've got a time that you can come in and interact with me online. I'll send you guys some Google Meet links as we get a little closer so you know where to go. Make sure you check out, stay on top of your Denison email to look out for those things from me. I'll let you know where to find me. On Wednesdays, my plan for Wednesdays is to be quiz and lab day, kind of half and half. So we'll start the first half of class doing our weekly quiz. There's going to be a weekly quiz. And then after that, we'll do kind of like a guided lab sort of thing. Each Wednesday, starting August 26th is our first one that we're going to do. So not in a couple days from then, but starting next week, we'll split our time between the weekly quiz and a guided lab activity, something that we'll do together in our Google Sheets software that we're going to use. So about these quizzes, sorry, I'm not used to talking a lot with my mask on, and I notice it keeps drifting down. It's like this awkward thing. I have to keep pulling it up. We'll get used to it. You guys are all going to do the quizzes in exactly the same way. All students, whether remote or you guys here in person, are going to take the quiz on Notebowl. It's pretty easy. I'll show you the nitty-gritty of how it works. You'll go to our class Notebowl page. You'll click on the assignments tab. You'll see the quiz there. I'll time it out so that it becomes available at the beginning of class, and then you'll have 20 to 25 minutes to kill it off. And it'll work the same for you guys here versus the folks at home. So do definitely bring your laptops for those. You'll be taking them on your laptops. If you guys don't have a laptop or can't bring one for some reason, that's cool. Let me know. We've got extra laptops that I can get to you guys, at least for the duration of class. So that's totally okay. But just let me know so I can bring laptops for you. And to be fair to all students, so with the remote students, I can't actually see any of you, and it doesn't really make sense for me to enforce a closed book policy if I have no idea what's going on with the other students. So to be fair, it's going to be open note for everybody. You guys can also use Google Sheets to work on the quizzes too. So you'll get more familiar with Google Sheets as we do this stuff. So they're open note. Which make your notes useful. In particular, make your notes useful for that reason, so that they can help you on the quiz. And then after the quiz, we'll do the lab exercise together. We'll do something with a spreadsheet. We'll do a quick application of whatever topic we've been doing recently. Maybe, for our first one, we'll practice just like sorting data and maybe finding some averages and standard deviations and basic summary stats stuff. These things aren't going to be like super in-depth lab projects. My goal is just to get you guys familiar with how spreadsheet software works so that when you go on into the world, you can say with some sort of confidence, yeah, I can use a spreadsheet, I can use Excel, I can use Google Sheets, I can do something smart with this software. It's a really marketable skill, and I think it's also just a lot of fun, so I hope we have fun with those. A little bit about the grading breakdown. So the quizzes are the major thing. The quizzes are the big thing. The quizzes are always what you want to be looking out for. The quizzes are the biggest part of your grade in this class. There were 70% of the grade. Doing them every Wednesday, starting next Wednesday. Not 2 days from now, but the one after that. We'll have our in-person quiz. Same for all students. We're going to take it on Notebowl. Of course, generally speaking, these things are going to cover whatever material we did the week before. I'll always post specific details about the coverage for the quiz. Especially, I think once you get used to the format that I use for posting our lectures online, you'll understand where I'm coming from with the coverage for the material. We'll talk more about the quiz specifically as they come up. Again, they're the major grade component. Take these things seriously. I do drop 2 low quizzes, so you can have 2 bad ones. That's cool. Happens to everybody. No worries. I dropped 2. I dropped 2 low quizzes. We're still going to end up having like probably 12 quizzes or so. So do take them seriously. Make your best effort on each quiz, but don't beat yourself up if one doesn't go as well as you'd hope. I dropped 2 low ones. Because of that, I don't do any makeup quizzes, especially just to be fair to all students. Once the quiz is out there, everybody's going to know what the questions are. So if for some reason you can't take the quiz, that'll just be one of your dropped quizzes. And I dropped 2 to handle those situations. There is going to be a special final quiz, which is going to be during our final exam time slot. It's not going to be like a full final exam. It'll probably be a little bit longer than a normal quiz. That one is mandatory. Got to take the final quiz. It's worth 10% of the grade. Can't be dropped. Kind of my goal for this is to give you guys an opportunity at the end of the semester to maybe pull up your grade a little bit and focus everything we've learned into one specific effort. I think it's a good thing for students to do, and gives you an opportunity to pull things up at the end if you need to. It'll be a little bit longer. It'll be cumulative. It'll cover stuff from the entire course. We'll talk more about the details when we get closer. Homework and lab assignments. Those things are worth 20% of the grade. Just to show you again, I'm just going through this little table right here that shows you all the categories. There's descriptions in the syllabus too. You can see those things out there. These are going to be every other week. Statistics is definitely a science of application, so I want you guys to be able to actually use these techniques that we're talking about, not just take quizzes about them. And that's what the homework is all about. We'll do these every other Friday. Students will submit a homework on Notebowl. And I'll always post details about the assignment. You'll see what's going on. You'll have the option to submit a file on Notebowl. We'll practice all of this together to make sure that everybody feels okay about it. Do watch out for the file format. I'll always tell you what file format I want them in, whether that's a PDF or whether that's like a Google Sheet spreadsheet document. Just make sure you take a look at that, because otherwise it might not be convenient or possible for me to read your work, and that could affect your grade. So do take a look at the file format. If you have concerns and questions about that, of course, come talk to me during my virtual office hours. And of course, although I do strongly advise you guys to work together, that's great. Everything that you do in your homework projects should be done on your own, of course. Make sure that the work you turn in is your own for academic honesty. The software we're going to use, I mentioned it a couple times today, it's Google Sheets. It's a lot like Excel. And anybody ever played around with Microsoft Excel before? couple hands, maybe about half you guys. I see some nods. Okay, cool. Google Sheets, basically the same thing. I like it better. I think it's way better, and it's free. And you guys all have access with your Gmail accounts here at Denison. It's super easy to get to. Actually, just to show you really quick. So if you click on the little application thing up here, careful, don't read my email. You can see Google Sheets is one of your little things right there. So poof, you can click on that. Start a new spreadsheet. We'll practice using this stuff together. But it's free. It's super easy to use. If you can use Google Sheets, you can totally use Excel or any other spreadsheet app. They're all pretty much the same sort of thing. It's a really sexy, marketable skill. And mostly I just hope to give you guys an opportunity to be able to have some sort of confidence in using this stuff in both your personal and professional lives. I hope you have fun with these things. Have you ever geeked out before? Now's your chance. You geeked out before? Awesome. And we'll take a look more at Google Sheets this week. Oh, by the way, our book is free. If you would like to get the Dead Tree version, you're more than welcome to. I would get it from Amazon. It's cheaper. It's only like $20. You don't have to, though. I don't have the Dead Tree version, the paper version. You can just Google Open Intro Statistics to get the full free PDF for this thing. I just want to show you right now. Let's do this together. I'm just going to Google Open Intro Statistics. It's the autocomplete right there. I don't even have to finish typing it. Poof, here's the openintro.org. It's the first link. You might have to give them your email address or something like that in order to get a copy of the book. Or the statistics one right here. And you might have to click through a little bit to get the PDF version of it, and you're good to go. So you guys can get access to the book right now, right this second, which I think is super cool. I love using open source software for that reason. I try to make all the resources in this class free if I can. So download the book. We do have some reading assignments, which I just wanted to show you on my website. Where are you? Yes, reading assignments. So reading assignments, one of our tabs. I've got the first one up there for Wednesday. Take a look at 1.2. You want to know what's going on Wednesday? Be ready, be prepared. Know what's going on in advance. Take a look at section 1.2 in the book. That's pages 12 to 18. So I'll keep this little reading assignment list updated for you guys so you know where to look at. I think if you can come to class having already read about it and have some idea of what's going on, class is just going to be so much more useful for you and so much more meaningful. It's always so much harder when it's the first time you're being exposed to new material. I'm not specifically going to grade or police your reading assignment progress. This is for students who want to engage and know what's going on in the class. You want to stay on top of things, take a look at those reading assignments. You don't have to understand every single word in the reading assignment. You don't have to torture yourself or make flashcards or anything like that. You take a look, at least make an honest effort to understand the concepts. And then when we talk about them in class, I think you'll have a much better time understanding. So book is free. Take a look at the book. Let me know if you're having any trouble getting the book. Oh, how about let me just show you real quick. Where's our book? Here's our book. So the reading assignment says section 1.2. Just to make sure we're all clear, here's the table of contents, of course, right at the beginning of the textbook. This is the PDF that you can download. The table of contents actually is linked, which is pretty neat on the PDF. So you can just click section 1.2, that's the reading assignment that I've got there. Click, and poof, it takes you right there. I think it's about 6 pages or so of the reading. Take a look at this stuff. Look at some of the examples. Look at the concepts that are talked about. We will talk about this stuff formally on Wednesday and Friday. Maybe so just to summarize some critical student resources for you guys. Inevitably with the whole remote / in-person thing, the internet is going to be super important for this class. So definitely Notebowl, of course, will be important. Take a look at Notebowl from time to time. All the quizzes and homework are going to be on Notebowl, so you'll definitely interact with Notebowl regularly. My teaching homepage, that's that one right there. I'm going to put all of, that's kind of my go-to spot for where I put links, especially links to videos, links to homework descriptions, et cetera, et cetera. Notebowl especially can get kind of cluttered with everybody posting on the main page, and there's already some students who've posted on there, which is totally fine. But I like to use my webpage just because I think it's very organized and easy for you to find everything. So check my webpage frequently to find out what's going on with our quizzes and everything. And YouTube, all these videos are going to be on YouTube for you guys to take a look at later. I'm making them specifically for our remote students, but it doesn't. You guys are welcome to use those resources too. Oh, also, Gmail, of course. Please make sure to check your dentist email regularly. And let's only, I accidentally sent you guys an email from my personal email address. Bad, Professor Miller. Let's not do that. Let's only use our Denison email addresses just for safety and security and stuff like that. Let's stick to our @denison.edu addresses. A few important notes. I'm totally serious about safety and this whole COVID thing. You know, different folks seem to engage in it differently. We all have kind of different levels of comfort and discomfort when it comes to COVID. And I'm glad that we're here, can have this experience. But I'm totally serious about keeping everyone safe. You guys, me, the building staff, let's join together to do what we can to stop this thing. 170,000 people have died in the United States alone so far because of COVID. That's a lot. Let's try to make that number as small as possible. I'm going to do everything I can to set a good example, and I hope you guys join me on that too. Again, just to rephrase, literally all of our class material is going to be online. Every single thing that we do in this class, you'll be able to, every word that I'm saying right now is going to be online. I think past generations of students would be very envious about this. So take advantage of this. I think it's going to be a cool resource for you. One thing too that I'm kind of a stickler about, let's come to class prepared to stay for the duration of the 50 minutes. So if you need tissues, bring those. If you need a water bottle, bring that. Try to use the restroom before class. I know it's a little tougher now with the traffic situation getting around, but let's make sure we're here and ready to go. If folks are moving around a bunch, it's only gonna make the spread of COVID worse. So let's not do that. Again, no makeups for missed quizzes. I dropped 2 low scores. Also a reminder, students can take quizzes remotely. So if you guys are having a little sniffle, if you're not feeling so hot, you do not have to come to class to take the quiz. Please don't come to class if you're not feeling. I really want to see you guys, definitely come. But you can take these things remotely, just like all of the remote students. Any student can do this. Any student can do this. Trying to be as open about this as I can. So just because you're not necessarily, maybe if you're not feeling well or whatever, you can still take those quizzes remotely. Just like all of the remote students. I just want to be as fair as possible to all of the students and make sure that everybody has the same opportunities. Quiz questions tend to be really similar to the stuff that we do in lecture. I try to make it as similar as possible so that you guys are prepared. If we work out an example in lecture together, that means it's automatically important and probably a really good candidate show up on the quiz later. I think you guys look at one goal that you guys should have for me and for all of your professors is to learn to read my mind. I try to be as predictable as possible. I want you guys to be able to go, oh, she's going to ask this question. I'm not trying to be sneaky with my quiz questions. I'll hold virtual office hours on Google Meet. I'm going to send out maybe a survey to you guys to get an idea for good times. I don't like to choose times until I know what's good for you. So, pay attention to email so you get links and stuff for that. I'm also serious about everybody feeling welcome and safe, not just in the COVID sense, but in the human being sense. A lot of times, math can feel kind of intimidating for folks. There's this term, math person. I'm not a math person. It kind of drives me crazy when people say that. There's no such thing as a math person. Sometimes we're going to do some hard work in this class. You might actually have to study a little bit. But don't let that stop you. I hope everybody feels ready to succeed in this class, because I know that you guys all can. Weird times, but let's have a good semester together. This whole thing that we're doing here, I enjoy it. I like school. That's why I keep going to school. I've been going to school my whole life. So I hope you guys have a fun time too. Okay, thank you. I hate talking that much. but it's the first day, so it's kind of necessary. Let me pause for a second. What questions do you guys have for me? Um, for which website in particular? Nope, you won't need any. All of our materials are free. You guys should already be on the Nopal page. So if you got access to Nopal, you're good. For our textbook, you might need to like register and give them your email, but you don't need a code or anything like that. So you should not need any sort of access codes, to my knowledge. If you feel like you really do need an access code, shoot me an email and let me know what's up, and maybe we can figure out what's going on. Okay. Great question though. What other questions do you guys have?
Just confirming, our lab is still in person as of now. Our laptop on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so Wednesdays will be in person. Wednesdays will be in person for sure. Yep. So we'll come in, take the quiz together, and then we'll segue into lab. That's my plan for how to do this stuff.
And then the lab is due the following next Friday. So if we have a lab on Wednesday, like next week.
For the exercises that we do on Wednesday, my goal is to kind of have those be more exploratory, to play around, to learn some of the basic techniques, so that when you do the homework, you'll be ready to go. Great questions. And you guys feel like this whole, earning your grade, doing the Math 120 thing, it's going to be different, but does the basic plan seem reasonable? Does this seem like a reasonable thing that we've got going on? We cool? Okay, cool. Communication is going to be more important than ever. You guys, how many of you are freshmen, by the way? Do you have any freshmen? One freshman? Two freshmen. Okay. Yeah, weird time to be a freshman. I hope everybody else can look out for our freshman students too and help them navigate this weird world that we're in. Yeah. I think that's all I got for you. All right, so take a look at the reading, get the book downloaded. We'll start on Wednesday, maybe get going on some more actual class stuff. Let me know if you have any questions. I don't generally check my email in the evenings, but especially with our online stuff, I'll be checking my email more frequently in the mornings and afternoons. So get in touch with me if you've got questions. Don't be a stranger. I want to be here for you guys and have a good sense of community. Good luck with everything.
Yeah.